What if I told you that you could have access to a customizable spinning wheel that is actually woven in and built into the fabric of your presentation software? Not just like from freewheelspinner.com, because if you're presenting or preaching in church, that you want that wheel to come in and you want it to be seamless. You don't want to have to drag an ugly browser window in across your screen. And so what if that presentation ability was available in your PowerPoint, in your Pro Presenter, on your church projector screens? Well, what if I told you that it was? Download Youth Ministry has had the customizable spinning wheel available to youth pastors, but it is now available to all people, and it is woven into the new beta version of SIDEKICK. And in this episode, not only are we going to explore how it's a little bit different than the legacy version of SIDEKICK, but we're going to look at all of the features. And so if you are watching here on YouTube, first of all, go ahead and give me a like, because if you don't know, that incredibly helps us out. But second, I would love it if you are listening to hop over and you can watch a live demo as I not only build the wheel, but I show you all the different features. And I want to talk through in this episode 4 of my most favorite ways to use and integrate the wheel into our programming, into my lessons, into my messages, and so much more. Hey everyone, welcome to the Hybrid Ministry Show. Well, hey everyone, welcome to the Hybrid Ministry Show. My name is Nick Clason. I am a 14-year youth ministry veteran, and welcome to our playlist where we are exploring the best features of SIDEKICK. And as you see here on screen rotating through on my pre-roll announcements for the Hybrid Ministry Show, which you can replicate this by simply clicking the link right here at the top of the video to go back and watch some of the more miscellaneous features available here in this playlist. But we are talking about SIDEKICK, and in this particular episode we're talking about the ways that you can use the wheel. But here's what you might not know is that if you've never jumped into anything DYM or COLEADER, which is their curriculum software that does unlock access to SIDEKICK, my listeners get an exclusive offer. If you use the code HybridMinistry10, you'll get 10% off Premium or Premium Plus of COLEADER curriculum, which, like I said, is how you gain access to SIDEKICK. There is a way to get SIDEKICK a la carte as well, but if you are in youth ministry and you're looking for curriculum, I'm just telling you, COLEADER is the way to go. You get so much. I don't even know how Download Youth Ministry is making money. But again, and in addition to that, you get 10% off if you use my code HybridMinistry10. So we're going to get out of these looping announcements, and I want to show you what it looks like to have the customizable spinning wheel. Now, here is the preview window over here. This little window down here, we're going to pretend, like I said in the first video in this playlist, this SIDEKICK is browser-based. So it's going to create a new window. You're going to drag that ugly window onto your projector screen, but then from there you're going to click full screen and it's going to be seamless. Now, if you are still using both SIDEKICK and also Pro Presenter, go ahead and check the link down below in the show notes for how we have set up, because we're all in on SIDEKICK. And the reason that I'm all in on SIDEKICK is it forces me to be more creative in my programming. And I find that when I'm more creative, our students are more engaged and better engaged, and I personally feel like that I'm doing a better job communicating and being a youth pastor and leaning in and showing up where students are, which that's one of the whole goals, is we want to be where students are, and that's what hybrid really affords us the opportunity to do, is to be where our people are. And so if you didn't know this, we're actually starting a brand new Patreon page here on the Hybrid Ministry Show, where I'm going to just rattle off what we did in youth group this week. And as I do, I'll explain all the ways we're using SIDEKICK along with all the other things that we're doing in our youth ministry. And so I want you to go ahead and check that out. If you haven't, you can click right here, the QR code that you see here on screen. I'll make that a little bit bigger for you. You can click that, or you can simply head to patreon.com/hybrid ministry and join for only $4 a month. The bonus podcast that I'm going to release is a weekly podcast. So when you do $4 a month, that essentially nets out to $1 per week, which is crazy town. So I would love to invite you into that. But here's one of my favorite ways to use and utilize the wheel, the random wheel. So in our student ministry, not too long ago, we used one of my friend ERIK with a K's games. And I'm not sure, I don't think he got this game onto Download Youth Ministry before Halloween, but man, I loved the concept. It was like a digital, like sort of escape room sort of thing. And what ERIK did, which was just like so incredible, was like, it was like you worked through rooms in your space, and you had different contestants kind of do that, right? Now, getting contestants, man, that is one of the most difficult things in youth ministry, right? Because you've been there where you're like, who wants to be a volunteer? Who wants to be a volunteer? And so what we did was we created a wheel that would basically volunteer certain people. So we had our groups broken down by grade. And so we had like 6th grade, we had 7th and 8th grade, we had 9th and 10th grade, and then we had 11th and 12th grade. So 4 total. 6th grade was the only one that was standalone, and the other, 6 remaining grades, they were grouped together. 7th and 8th, 9th and 10th, 11th and 12th. You get the idea. But then we said we need the, whatever the wheel says, person from each of these grades. So again, this is something I would go over on my Patreon page, and hopefully it might help you out, help you be more creative, and thus ultimately more engaging. But what we did was we just added a wheel, and we said, all right, I need the 6th grader who's the tallest. I need the 7th grader who's the shortest. I need the 9th and 10th grader who has the tallest socks. I need the 11th and 12th grader who has the lowest phone battery percentage. And so if you're watching here on screen, what you do is you simply click Edit Slide, and right up here at the top, all you got to do is click Wheel. You want to add the wheel. And so in pops the wheel settings right here. And so this is where you can adjust the individual items in the wheel. So if you don't want cheese because it's not relevant to what you're doing, you can say tallest. And if you want highest battery percentage, you say highest battery percentage. Where's that percent sign? There it is. If you want to add another one, you simply click add item. Or better yet, you can do bulk add, and you can just type them all in. And so you go tallest socks, reddest hair, biggest mustache, or whatever your criteria are. There they are. You click add 3 items, and boom, they are off and rolling. Now, once your wheel is on the screen, you notice it's kind of covering my face here if you don't want that. So you can go up to this little corner and just simply shrink it and put it right where you want it. Maybe right underneath that finger where I'm pointing. Maybe you want it huge, right? So you can make it even bigger. You can make it even smaller. And there's all sorts of different ways that you can kind of mess around with and use the wheel. But that's way number one. We kind of like to use the wheel as a contestant sort of generator. All right. The other thing that I love about the wheel is, or another way number 2 that we use the wheel is we will use it sometimes as a prize wheel. So we have a winner of a game, a standalone winner or a group of winners, and then we let that winner go ahead and spin the wheel for an opportunity to win. So let's just say that they won pizza. And so here, I've already input my different types of pizza that I want to let them win. And so when you go ahead and get this thing launched, you will see that you have a lot of different access, right? You have a lot of different access once you get this thing up and rolling. So we're going to pretend this is our projector screen, and your person back in your booth is going to be the one that sees this. Or, again, don't forget that now they have phone integration, so you can run it like a remote phone, which is a pretty cool feature. So here we are on our wheel right here, and this is what it looks like for the person in the booth. They'll have this start spin option, and they'll be able to see down here that the next winner is cheese, but if they don't want it to be cheese, it can re-roll, and it can re-roll it randomly. Or you can choose a pre-selected option. So you can see all of your options here, and you can say, I don't have Hawaiian pizza, I don't have deep dish, I only have sausage. And so we're going to make them think that they have the opportunity to get sausage, but really they don't. And so we're not doing random, we're going to do pre-selected. The pre-selected winner here is sausage. And now when we spin the wheel, you're seeing it, you're hearing it. The winner is sausage, right? Like I said, I can now clear that. Now let's say I gave away sausage, and so I don't want that anymore. This is where I can turn on this hide last item. And so now sausage, which was what I gave away, now I don't have it because I gave it away to this group and I need a new prize to give away to the next group. I can't give away sausage twice. It only had it once. So if I click hide last item, it will go away and it won't be an option on the wheel anymore. So now let's just simulate that again. So I did in fact go ahead, give away sausage. I'm hiding the last item. Consider the last item hidden, and then we're gonna clear that. It's gone, and now we're like, oh, it needs to be pepperoni. So here we go. Let's give away pepperoni to the winning group, group number 2. Congratulations, you won pepperoni. Now, if you're listening here on screen, or that was able to be picked up through my microphone, you will notice that they have different sound effects. So when you do the little cheery sound effect, that's the one that pepperoni just made. You do a little shrug sound effect, that's just a little kind of simple like click sound, like and so you can change that. Or if it's a negative consequence, you can also do the lose sound. And so cheese now has the lose sound, and so that sounds something like this. No one wants cheese. All right, that's just the bottom line. Okay. Here is another idea that I have is we might in our space do something where we have like rows. We have 16 tables, so there's four by four, 4 tables across, 4 tables down, 16 total. So we might do something where we have a passage of scripture, that we want people to look up, and so then we might use the wheel and say, all right, row 1, you're gonna look up this. Row 2, you're gonna look up that. And here's what's cool is you saw my picture here, so you can also make your background custom. So right here, let's say I want this slide right here to be where I put my wheel. First, I got to give it a background, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it an image background. I'm going to upload a file, and I'm going to go navigate to these different verses of this slide that I have already made. And so boom, there's my verse slides. And so now, I don't want that. I want the wheel now. And so I can say row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. We're going to add those. We're going to remove these. And now I can put this right here. Again, don't forget, Hybrid Ministry 10 gets you 10% off of Premium or Premium Plus of COLEADER. But now I can put that right here, and I can say, all right, row 1, you're going to go first, and then very simply, right, like as I am presenting this sucker, got to get down to it so I can show it to you, but as I'm presenting it, I'll say, all right, row 1, here you go. Or not row 1, Luke 1 goes to row 1, in fact, right? And once again, I should have selected hide winner because I can't actually have row 1. That's a bummer. I missed out. What am I supposed to do? Well, your ProPresenter person can actually hop back over here to edit and just very simply either hide them, and now they're going to be off my wheel, or delete them and they're off my wheel. Either way. Now, if I hide them, right, I can add them back on very simply. If I delete them, I do have to go back in here and I have to type it all back out and do all that stuff, which, as you see, is not that difficult, but it does take a little bit more of an additional step. Now, here's the other cool thing. You might be thinking like, I don't want like that background. I want I want a video background. Great. Check this out. I don't want this background anymore. I go back in here to edit slide. I don't want it. I'm going to go over here to my slide settings, and instead of it being an image background, I could do a color background. Here's my color options, right? Those are all the preloaded ones. Or I can say I want a video background. So I'm going to select video, and I want it to be a YouTube embedded video, and I want it to be my video. So we're going to copy and paste that link here, paste, embed that YouTube video, and boom. And I can put the wheel anywhere that I want. Now, keep in mind that when it's a background, you saw it right here, background videos will loop automatically and they do not play sounds. And so you can pull these directly off of the internet. And this is why I believe every single youth ministry should have a strong digital presence. Also, hey, while you're here, why don't you go ahead and grab my hybrid strategy guide with a little bit of a different name from this episode that I dropped a little bit over a year ago. So that was idea number 3. You can give out passages for the wheel. Idea number 4, I'm actually going to share with those of you that are on my Patreon page. Now listen, don't forget that it's only about $1 a week, and anyone who signs up before December 2nd, 2024 will get an exclusive free piece of merch. So you're going to get a piece of merch that's probably worth like $20. That's going to like pay for itself in the first 5 months, and I'm going to share my 4th favorite way that I customize and use the wheel in my different teachings and in my different presentations. Hey, my friends, as always, don't forget, if you want to know how to use the name picker, that is going to be here in the very next episode. If you're watching on YouTube, that'll be right here on screen. Go hop over to the Patreon page. But until next time, and as always, my friends, stay hybrid.